In this piano tutorial, I want to share a progression that I really like because of the voicings that each chord uses. You're going to see how the melody seamlessly transitions from one chord to the next. And this progression is in the key of C minor. Or you can think about it as a E flat major. Right, so we start off technically on the 6th, right? If we're thinking in terms of E flat major, and it sounds something like this. So this progression is very simple. It only has about 6 different chords, but I want you guys to focus mostly on the voicings that we're using for each chord, right? So we're starting off on the 6th, which is C minor, and we're voicing it as a C minor 11 chord. Now this chord may seem a bit complicated, I guess, for beginners, but we can sort of break it up into 2 different chords or 3 different chords, which makes it easier to memorize, right? So this chord is simply a C minor in the left hand. Now this voicing is known as a drop 2 voicing because we're dropping the second note from the top, right? We have the C minor, we drop the C down an octave. We have this chord in the left hand. Sometimes we can't reach a chord like this if your hand is smaller, so we can just play it up here, something like that, okay? Now, the right hand is going to play up a 5th from that C. And up a 5th would be a G. We're going to play it as a G minor chord. Now, when we combine a G minor with a C minor, we get a C minor 9. Now, there's another chord combination which would make this a C minor 11. And that formula would be, instead of going up a 5th, we go down a half step, down 2 half steps to B flat, and we play it as a major chord, right? In combination with C minor, we get a C minor 11. And something that you can notice within this chord is that we still have that G minor within this same chord, right? You can see it right here in the middle. So when we combine C minor and G minor, we get C minor 9. But when we combine C minor and B flat major, we get C minor 11. Now the voicing that we use here is drop 2 voicing in the left hand for C minor. And then we sort of combine the G minor and the B flat major together for this voicing right here. So that's that first chord, which is the 6th of that E flat major. Then we go into the 2, which is an F minor, and it's going to use a very similar voicing, right? It's still a minor 11 voicing, but it sounds like this. Now you can see how we have the F, the minor 7th in the left hand. Now the right hand is actually going to play up 3 half steps from the F. And it's a little bit more complicated way of thinking about this right hand chord, right? And I'm playing an A major, A flat major 9, because I have the major 7th up here and I added the 9th down here. So this in combination with F gives us an F minor 11. Now you can still think about it in the same way we did before, right? Where we go up a 5th from F in this case, which is the base of the note or the root, and we go up to C and make it a minor note or minor chord, sorry. Or we can go down 2 half steps from F and play a major chord. That gives us the minor 11 sound. In this case, inverted would sound like this, right? Because we want this ninth sound on top. So those two chords together gives us that sound. Now the next chord is going to be a 7, which is D, right? In reference to E flat, the 7 would be D. And usually this chord is played as a half diminished chord, which works in this progression, right? A D minor 7 flat 5. Now this chord right here is simply an F minor over a D. But we're going to alter it slightly, right? We're going to play, instead of A flat, we play a G flat. Now this chord is simply a D7, right? D, the major third, the minor 7th, or D dominant, and we're going to add a flatted third, if we want to call it, or a sharped ninth, okay? That's going to be our 7. Then we're going to our 3, which is going to be a G, and we're voicing it as a G7 sharp 5, right? We're taking that 5th, bringing it up a half step. And then we're back to that first chord, which is a C minor 11. Now those last 3 chords that we just played are very useful because it's simply a minor 2-5-1, which we can use in any song, right? Let's say we're playing from the 1 to a 7, 3, and then a 6. We can play something like this. And I really like the voicings for these chords because if you pay attention to the melody, we're playing and when we add the rest of the notes, the melody isn't jumping around the keyboard, right? We're just going down that scale. Okay, now if we go back to the original progression, we're in a point where a modulation occurs, right? We're going to move from this E flat down 2 half steps to a D flat, which is going to be our main chord. And the way we're going to get there is by playing a 2-5-1, which leads us to that D flat. And the way we play the 2 is again in this minor 9 voicing, okay? So we were on E flat, but we're changing it to a minor chord, which is now the 2 of D flat. Then we go to the 5, which is an A flat 13. But let's focus on these voicings, right? So we're on E flat minor 9. This chord right here, again, if we go back to that formula, in order to play a minor 9, we play E flat minor, we go up a 5th, which is B flat, and we form a minor chord out of that note. And in combination, we get that minor 9 sound. So we have this E flat minor 9. Now, to get the 5, which is voiced as an A flat 13, this chord right here, all I did was move this C sharp or D flat down a half step for my right hand, and my left hand is going up a 4th, right, to A flat, and that gives us that sound. Now if we deconstruct it, we have A flat with the minor 7th or the dominant, then we have the 9th, the 3rd or the 10th, and then we have the 6th or 13th, okay, which is F. It's a very sweet sounding voicing. And then we finish on this on this C sharp or D flat major 9. So and Then we get back to the original key, which is an E flat, and we're playing that same progression from before, 7 3 6. So once again, all together.